It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary Hotline bling.
That can only mean one thing.
when you tune in at this time for the Culinary Hotline bling. Tsing, tsing, tsing. And today, an excellent day because, as you know, it is World Egg Day. And so we thought it would be quite an exciting thing to get our good friend Chef Tjaart in the kitchen to teach us how to poach an egg perfectly. This is like pimping up your egg game to a whole nother level. And he's also going to be showing us a beautiful way to make an omelette, the perfectly made omelette. And of course, please remember to share your comments and questions on our social media pages. Chef Tjaart, good to have you. How are you?
Absolutely. Fabulous, and just so excited to be back, and it's great to come and sort of share something that's such a simple, humble ingredient that we use every day.
So versatile. So which came first?
Oh, you're going to open up a conversation that is going to go on for days.
Have you found an answer?
I haven't. Have you?
You know, I'm still on the side of the chicken. I think the chicken came first. But we can philosophize about that another time. But poaching an egg, right? Well, let's firstly talk about the difference between a fried egg and a poached egg, for those that don't know out there.
So a fried egg is something that you crack into a hot pan, and you're literally frying it, generally and hopefully in butter, not oil. Because remember, butter has a lower boiling point than oil. Now, it depends on what you want.
Yes.
In terms of your egg, you know, some people have that little crispy little skirt around the outside.
Yes.
But I'm all about butter in a pan. Because remember, egg solidifies, you know, at a very low point. And you want a low boiling point in terms of using your butter. So I'm a butter person on that as opposed to oil.
So does the logic then follow that if you want your egg to cook more evenly and you want to have more control over its cooking process, rather use the butter that has a lower melting point or boiling point? So that means once your egg gets into the pan, it won't go and then, you know, it'll kind of slowly but surely get into it.
And basic rule, when butter foams, then you cook. All right, we'll be coming to that with our omelette a little bit later on.
Here we go.
Okay.
You don't want to skirk your egg. Let it envelop into the process. But this is now about poaching eggs. And if you want to pimp your game up and you really want to present your egg, your breakfast, in a very fancy kind of way, poach those eggs, and I promise you, it'll be the delight of all in attendance. And this is what the final product looks like.
So this is poached eggs. So poached eggs is submersing the egg out of its shell in water.
Yes.
In boiling water. So that's what we're going to do. Here. And this is ones that we've done a little bit earlier on.
Good.
We're going to come back to that, and we actually make our eggs first, you know, our poached eggs first.
I'm looking at what you've got here. I've seen people doing it like in plastic bags.
Oh, there's all sorts. You want people trying to keep the shape. Now, rule number one with poaching an egg, it must be fresh egg, i.e. you want something literally laid within 2 days.
Oh!
That fresh. It needs to be fresh because what you want is the albumin to be really tight. That's the white stuff around the yolks. You want that really tight, and that starts to deteriorate as the days go on.
Did you hear that, guys? It's albumin. It's not the egg white. It's the albumin. Get it right.
So fresh egg, and the next thing is a cold egg. So if you are going to be poaching, make sure it's fresh and cold, so keep your eggs in the fridge.
Okay.
All right.
So literally find a farmer in your local community and ask him, so what time are the chickens laying? Okay, in 3 minutes I'm coming. Get the eggs, then go home.
And chickens generally lay in the morning. How's that?
They do.
Right, so what we're going to do is I've got a little bit of water in a bowl here, and a little bit of water into here. It's about 10%, or so you can taste vinegar.
Okay, so water in the small
bowl,
and
a little bit of vinegar.
And a bit of vinegar.
All right, and then the same thing into your pan as well. I'm going to put a splash of vinegar into some boiling water that's coming up to temperature now.
Okay, so it's coming up to boiling temperature, not yet boiling.
Not yet.
You don't want it...
I actually do want it to bubble.
Okay.
I do want it to bubble, so let's just...
Sorry, I lost the word. I couldn't find bubble.
Right, and then take in your egg and then crack it into your vinegar water to start with. And of course, that one
making sure not to crack the yolk.
Well, that one didn't work. So let's take another one. Right.
Get some water.
So again, that's a much older. Actually, let's just use this. Actually, it's a good one. You can actually see it's a much older egg, this, because you can see how sort of loose and how it's sort of broken away. Yes. It becomes very fragile. Also, the larger the egg, the older the chicken. How's that? So the shell density never changes in a chicken's life.
Yes.
So a small egg is from a young chicken, and a larger egg from an older chicken.
Quite interesting enough, we were talking about the sizes of eggs, and it appears that we as Africans have larger eggs than our European counterparts. Is this a fact, Charles?
It is indeed. A large egg...
Welcome to Africa.
A large egg, which is 50 to 54 grams, gives you a 16 to 20 gram yolk, and the balance being of the white albumin, is... ours is a large. The European standard is a medium-sized egg, which is your 50 to 54 gram weight in egg.
We do things big in Africa.
We do indeed.
Big.
Right.
Okay.
So why have I done in here? So we're probably not going to have enough time just to really show, but what happens is you can actually start to see the album starting to cook. The vinegar, correct? Oh, you've learned lots over these years on Espresso, haven't you? I love it. Anyway, the vinegar on the outside is starting to cook the egg. So let's actually start to keep it together and bind it together on that there. Yeah? All right.
This is like an episode of, like, what's his name? Bill Nye the Science Guy. It's exploding my brain.
Anyway, let's carry on with this here. Right, so what we're going to do from here, it's going to go into your pan. Now, what you can do if you really want, if your egg is not super fresh, then I suggest just sort of dipping it in. But if it is fresh, I'm going to show you the way that we really want it, because this, what it should actually look like, is the shape of a torpedo. So what you want to do is create a centrifugal force, and you're going to start whisking. Look at that, going swirly around.
This is amazing.
Yes. But remember, remove your whisk.
Okay.
All right, when it goes
otherwise
in.
you're going to scramble.
Right, there we go, in it goes, and yeah, I'm going to go, right, like that. So it's going round and round and round. And what it's doing, you can see, this is an older egg. The white is coming away. But what you want is this
egg out of it would have been
beautiful,
together.
sort of rounded top, your torpedo shape coming through.
Wow.
And that's how we do that. Obviously, don't go and put this back in again, but if you really want,
you
just
can
very
literally
gently
see how every almost protein element of it cooks in the water in that slow process. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
And remember, we've obviously put cold water in here, so it's dropped the temperature very quickly. So again, it's a very delicate process. Eggs set at a low point, but I did want it in the initial stages to be boiling. I mean, that's going to be sort of coming up, and you can just see as it goes.
SMS the keyword EAT to 33728.
All right.
So how long is it going to be in there?
So literally, it's going to be a couple of minutes. Depends how hot your water is, how many eggs you put in. That all has a factor. So you can just literally feel it and just test it, how far you want it done.
Yes.
Now, with this, what's going to happen is you're going to take it out, and then you can put it, what I always do is put it into ice-cold water.
Yes.
Now, if you get my new cookbook, Summer Food, I always say to poach your eggs in advance, 2-3 days in advance. Why? Because you can't perfectly cook 20 eggs in an instance on the day. So I always put mine from there into ice-cold water, take them out, and then all you need to do is just, you can clean up the little loose ends. Like that. Just like that, clean them up all beautifully, and then put them into another bowl of clean water when they're done, and keep them in the fridge for the next day. What you then need to do for breakfast, and you want to do an eggs Benedict, or you want to do eggs on toast, you want to do a lovely salad, onto a pan, warm it up for 30 seconds, perfectly poached eggs that are beautiful and soft.
Unbelievable. Okay, I'm very, very fascinated. SMS the keyword EAT to 33728. We'll be back in here again. Next up, we show you how to make the perfect omelette with Chef Tjaart. Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Excellent stuff.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary Hotline Bling. It can only mean one thing. Welcome back to the Culinary Hotline Bling. Sing. Now, an omelette is a very easy and tasty meal, they say, but it's not as easy to make if you think about it. I mean, we've been told that there's many different ways. Is it a hot pan, especially when we've had our omelette challenges? Do you have the oil in immediately? Do you wait for it? Do you wait until it smokes? Well, how do you do it? That's exactly why Chef Tjaart is here. And we're going to be teaching, not myself, because, of course, I did beat the infamous Zola Nene in the omelette challenge.
Did you really beat Zola?
I did.
Oh,
but
brag about that.
Tabiso is not that au fait with making omelettes. So, Tabzi, Uncle Tabzi, come in here. We're going to teach him how to make the perfect omelette.
Oh, well, omelettes are one of those things that actually, if you go into work for a top-end chef, and I'll tell you one in particular is the one that swears a lot, Mr. Ramsay. If you actually want to go and work for him, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
If you actually want to go and work for him, one of the first things before you actually even get an interview is you get to make an omelette. And if you pass the omelette challenge, then you'll go through to step number 2, and then finally an actual physical talking interview.
So it's an essential part of being a chef.
It is, absolutely.
Making an omelette.
Test.
Okay,
Omelette making.
Omelette making, absolutely.
This is how you make the perfect omelette.
Very simply with omelettes there is 3 eggs. Now, just a very quick one, just because we're talking about eggs and, you know, this egg day and all the rest of it. If you see a blood spot, what the blood spot is in there is actually from a stressed chicken. And that's nature's way of actually shotting some blood into the egg and actually making sure that embryo can actually never form. Because what happens is the egg then basically ferments and goes frot, and it stops it from actually forming an embryo.
Do you have to take it out when you do so?
If you want, you can take it out, but just cook it.
No harm eating
you
it,
eat steak and all the rest of it, don't you? What are you eating? All right, so eggs are whisked, and then you want to pop the pan in there. So generally, cold pan, do you want to pop it across onto there? Cold pan, cold butter into the pan.
Tabzi, did you hear why we use butter instead of oil?
No, why do we do that?
Butter has a lower boiling point or melting point, so it allows your egg to cook more evenly. Otherwise, if it's too hot with the oil, you put it on and the egg goes... And then
yes, and I've seen that happen lots of times.
So it's all about gentle cooking. Now, with an omelette. A correct omelette has no color. And that is the test.
Wait, what?
No
What do you
color.
mean it's got
There
no
should be
colour?
no color. This, we might be failed.
Oh,
no color.
Nicole, you've just been
yes.
shaded. Your egg has just been shaded.
No,
Look,
I-
okay, but explain what you mean by no color.
What I mean by no color, because what the test is here, it's
Yeah.
very gentle. You got to be the reason why we test with an omelette is because you need to be in control of the pan.
Okay.
So it shows you your technique of control.
Okay.
Now, it's a good omelette, it's beautifully folded,
Yes.
but you actually want no color spots whatsoever. Okay. All right. So what we do is your pan's in there, as I said earlier on.
Yeah.
When the butter foams,
Yeah.
then
Then it's
which
ready
you can
to
see
cook.
then it's ready to cook.
That's all I heard, yeah. So
Oh,
when
this is
when the
perfect.
butter foams, it's ready to cook.
Absolutely.
And you want it to be foaming, not turning a light golden
No.
color and smoking. You don't want it to be hot.
Absolutely, yep. And then you got to regulate it and you got to watch it bit by bit. So what I always do is what we want to try and do is create like a volcano. So think of this as going to be a volcano mountain by drawing into the center, little bit by little bit.
All right.
Draw it into the center, yeah? And why we're doing this is because then the actual liquid runs down.
Yes.
So do you want to carry on with that a little bit?
Oh,
so just
are you
draw
sure
there.
you want me to
Absolutely.
do this?
not.
Yeah. So from the outside, you're going to draw it in there, yeah?
All right.
There we go, great.
And if your
Okay.
liquid isn't necessarily running all the way out, are you then
Then tip
at
it on.
liberty to kind of tip
Yeah.
it? Yeah, use the
And
pan.
then you
Use
can
the pan to
then you
tip
can
it.
use a pan like that, yeah?
do
Fill it up.
Be confident.
Okay.
Come, work with me here.
Yeah,
So you're going to go around there.
man.
Okay, so just drag it in like that,
Yeah.
working around in a fashion that you're making sure you get every little... Oh, there we go.
Look at
Bit
that.
of drama there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get to a point of where you don't want to move it too much more. So let's just use the pan like this.
All right.
So you can sort of see an interesting volcano shape.
it's
here
building
happening
up,
over there.
forming there,
All right,
yeah.
okay. So not too much now, because
happened
remember,
there,
lots of
Tubbsy?
the
Did you
liquid is
just-
going
it
there.
wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Gosh.
He was excited.
Oh, overly excited.
Okay, let's not do any more like that. Right, now at this point is when you actually season.
Okay.
All right, don't season in the beginning because what happens is actually the salt starts to break down the protein and it starts to lose its form
Shape.
and lose its shape as well. So and same for scrambled eggs. Never season the eggs beforehand.
My whole life is a lie.
So
I've been doing it wrong all along.
little salt, pepper onto there.
Yeah.
All right, and you can see it actually starting to set. If it's too hot, take it off.
Take it
Let the
off.
residual heat. There's enough residual heat in here,
Okay.
especially if you've got a thick base pan.
So you don't need to
continue
wait the
cooking.
whole time for it to
No.
completely...
By the way, guys, SMS the keyword dish to 33728. Now, the toppings. Let's quickly go.
Right,
Quickly with the
topping's
toppings.
entirely up to you what you want to do. I mean, you can obviously do a bit of cheese if you want. Now, I'm just going to put a little onto here. You can put some tomatoes, mushrooms.
Okay.
You can just sprinkle a little bit on that there. Now, it depends on how you want to make this as well, remember. If you want to sort of fold it over, to see if this is going to be ready for folding, just
looks
about
ready.
there. So I've done cheese on one half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit soft there.
Ooh, Tubbsy.
And that goes across there.
And you can see no colour.
No colour. Now, there's different styles, different ways. I mean, you can see you can do a threefold. You can do, I just do one and a half.
Yeah.
And let the residual heat cook like that.
By the way,
And
quickly,
always-
you would have cooked these beforehand, right? In order
Yes,
to get
absolutely.
them
Cook
in. If you're
those.
going to be doing other
and if you're
things
using
are
like
fresh.
green peppers, please make sure you cook them as well.
stuff.
And then always that technique over in one
well-
movement.
To make sure
Sure.
it's not falling apart, obviously.
Here we go.
And it doesn't
But
stick to your pan.
I mean,
All right, guys, we've got to wrap it up. SMS the keyword dish to 33728.
Wow.
Fantastic way to make an omelette. By the way, have you guys heard why was the egg disappointed that it landed in an omelette?
there we go.
Wow.
Because it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
What is-